Class 9, let's continue chapter number 9, the Delhi Sultanate. In today's class, we are going to study about the Khilji dynasty. So let's proceed for that. The Khilji's dynasty, 1219 to 1320. Balban's successors were very weak. A grandson of Balban was murdered in 1290 and the Sultanate passed into the hands of the Khilji dynasty or the Khilji rulers belonging to a clan whose members were scattered all over India. So Jalauddin Khilji 1290 to 1296 was the first ruler of this dynasty. So who was the first ruler of Khilji dynasty? Jalauddin Khilji. Just underline. He ruled for 1290 to 1296 AD. He ruled only for a brief period of 6 years and could not bring about any important changes because he could not get enough time in the administrative, personal or structure of his government, right? So the first ruler of Khilji dynasty was Jalauddin Khilji. And after the murder of the grandson of Balban, the slave dynasty came to an end, right? Okay, now let's talk about Alauddin Khilji, who ruled from 1296 to 1316 AD. He was a nephew and a son-in-law of Jalauddin and came to the throne by murdering his old uncle. Soon he embarked on conquest. He raided Malwa. Raided means sudden attack. Right, so he attacked Malwa and Gujarat and also defeated the Rajput rulers of Ranthambore and Chittor. He then turned to the 4 wealthy kingdoms of the Deccan of the South India, Yadavas of Devgiri and the Kakatiyas of Warangal, Hosalas of Dwarsamudra and the Pandya kingdom with its capital at Madurai. So no North Indian army had earlier managed to come so far as the extreme south of the peninsula. So this was the first time in the Indian history that the northern ruler, they managed to come so far to the extreme of South India. The task of conquest of Deccan, that means South India, had been entrusted by Alauddin to his military commander Malik Kafur. So this is with the support of Malik Kafur, his military commander. Now, Malik Kafur captured an immense booty which consisted of hundreds of elephants, thousands of horses and gold and jewels in large quantities. But southern India was not annexed. Its rulers had to acknowledge the lordship of Delhi Sultan and pay him tribute in return for peace and protections. Though they raided Malwa and though they raided peninsular Deccan south regions of Deccan or the peninsular regions, but southern India was not annexed. Its rulers had to acknowledge the lordship of Delhi Sultan and had to pay tribute in return for peace and protections, right? During Alauddin's rule, Mongols again launched their plundering attacks, but they were defeated, right? So during Alauddin's rule also, Mongolia or Mongol, they tried to attack and they tried to plunder the wealth of India, but they were defeated by Alauddin's army and Alauddin. Okay, now just see Alauddin's administrative setup. Alauddin also initiated a series of revenue, taxes and administrative measures to augment his resources, to consolidate his resources. He revoked all land grants made as gifts to Muslim landlords or Muslim clerics. So he revoked all land grants made as gifts to Muslim landlords, means the grants or the He revoked all land grants means he cancelled all the land grants made as a gifts to the Muslim landlords. So what he did, he cancelled earlier that the Muslim landlords and the Muslim clergy, they as a gift they were rewarded or they were given gifts, right? But Alauddin revoked it. Revoked means cancelled it. All the land grants made as a gift to the Muslim landlords or the Muslim clerics. The treatment meted out to Hindu landlords called muqaddams or chaudharis was typically harsh. The Sultan tried to regulate the prices of goods as well. This helped the common people, especially the soldiers. So this was the Alauddin's revenue policy and the administrative setup. Market regulations. Control of markets was an astonishing achievement of Alauddin Khilji since he maintained a large army on relatively small pay. He had to ensure that essential commodities were available at low prices. So he very well know about the providing essential commodities in a very low prices, and he very well maintained a large army on a very small pay, salary, very small salary. This he did by regulation the prices of food grains, sugar and cooking oil, cloth, horses, cattle, slaves and other commodities. The traders had to sell all commodity at the fixed rates. So he had made fixed rates for all the commodities. So the traders had to sell all the commodities at the fixed rates, right? These regulations were enforced by two officers. So there were two officers who looked after this commodities at the fixed rates, and the two officers were Diwani Riyasat and Shahana-e Mandi. So these were the two officials or the officers who look after this working of market regulations, right? Now those violating the regulations were severely punished. So if they found, these officers found anyone violating the regulations or bargained or found bargaining or violating the rules and regulations in trade, so those were severely punished. In brief, Alauddin once more revived the prestige and power, if not the dignity of the court of Balban. He believed in the majesty of monarch and his being God's representative on earth. So, in brief, in short, we can say Alauddin once more revived the prestige and power of the court of Balban. He believed in the majesty of monarch. That means he believed that monarch is all powerful and is his being God's representative on earth. Right? Okay. Okay, in this Khilji dynasty, the Alauddin's Khilji revenue system and the administrative measures and market regulation is very important, right? And this market regulations, how he controlled over the markets, and what were the Alauddin's revenue policy and the administrative measures. These topics are very important, right? And these words like Diwani Riyasat and Shahana-e Mandi, what are these and who are these, right? And how he was successful in to provide essential commodities at a very low prices, and how he maintained a large army on a relatively very small pay, right? A very small salary. So these are very important. So just go through these topics. These are very, very, very important, right? Okay, now come to the next one. That is the Tughlaq dynasty. Very important dynasty in the Indian history. So you should know about this dynasty, the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, now let's come to the next dynasty. That is the Tughlaq dynasty, 1320 to 1414. So 4 years after Alauddin's death, his dynasty was replaced by another dynasty, that was Tughlaq dynasty. It was Ghazi Malik, another general in revolt, who put an end to the rule of the Khiljis. He ascended the throne in 1320 and took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. In 1325, he was died when a victory pavilion built for a public reception in his honor collapsed. So from this paragraph, we come to know that after the death of Alauddin, this dynasty, after the death of Alauddin, the Khilji dynasty was replaced by another dynasty, that was Tughlaq dynasty, which was founded by the Ghazi Malik, that is the Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, and he took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, and he ascended the throne in 1320. So from 1320, the Tughlaq dynasty started, right? And it was also written here, he was died in 1325, and how he was died? When a victory pavilion built for a public reception in his honor collapsed, right? Okay, now let's start with the Muhammad Tughlaq. Okay children, that's all for the day. The same chapter will continue in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.